The Cincinnati Open had barely faded from memory when Eala's US Open story suddenly took a turn nobody expected. Just days earlier, inside the Lindner Family Tennis Center in Mason, Ohio, Eala walked off the court heartbroken after a painful loss to Amanda Anisimova. Filipino fans had packed the stands, waving flags, chanting her name, and staying behind until nearly 1 o'clock in the morning, hoping their rising star could pull off another unforgettable win. For a while, it looked like she might. Eala held a 2-0 lead in the deciding set, but the match slipped away, and with it came a crushing ending to her Cincinnati run. It felt like the worst possible way to head toward the US Open. Then, just when fans were still processing that disappointment, tennis delivered a wild twist. Eala was headed back to New York with a brand new opportunity, and this time she would not be walking onto the court alone. The 21-year-old Filipina sensation received a wild card into the US Open Mixed Doubles Championship alongside Canadian star Felix Auger-Aliassime, one of the biggest names in men's tennis. Suddenly, the conversation changed completely. Instead of asking whether Cincinnati had damaged Eala's momentum, fans were asking something much more exciting. How in the world did this unexpected partnership happen, and could it turn into one of the biggest stories of the US Open? The announcement arrived on Monday, August 17, 2026, when the United States Tennis Association revealed that Eala and Auger-Aliassime had been awarded a mixed doubles wildcard. On paper, it was a fascinating combination. Eala had been riding an incredible wave of attention, while Auger-Aliassime brought experience, power, and a proven record at Flushing Meadows. Eala had captured her first career title only 2 weeks earlier at the DC Open, becoming the first player from the Philippines to win a WTA Tour event. Her popularity had exploded across the United States, with Filipino communities and tennis fans traveling from city to city just to watch her compete. Auger-Aliassime, meanwhile, had already reached the singles semifinals twice in Queens and entered the partnership as one of the highest-profile players in the tournament. Put them together, and you suddenly had one of the most intriguing teams in the entire mixed doubles field. Eala made no attempt to hide how excited she was about the opportunity. She said she was thrilled to play alongside Auger-Aliassime and described the US Open as an electric place for doubles, especially with so many major stars entering the mixed event. For a young player still building her experience on the sport's biggest stages, this was more than just another match on the schedule. It was a chance to compete under the lights in New York, alongside an established Grand Slam contender, against some of the best players on the planet. And the timing could not have been better. After the emotional loss to Anisimova in Cincinnati, some fans wondered whether Eala might arrive in New York carrying the weight of that defeat. Instead, the mixed doubles wildcard gave her an entirely new storyline and another reason to attack the US Open with confidence. Social media quickly lit up with reactions. Some fans were shocked by the pairing. Others immediately started imagining what could happen if Eala's energy and Auger-Aliassime's experience clicked at the right time. So how did the partnership actually happen? According to Auger-Aliassime, the explanation was surprisingly straightforward. The two players are represented by the same agency, and conversations between members of their teams eventually brought the idea together. But there is another connection that makes the partnership even more interesting. Both players have ties to the Rafa Nadal Academy in Mallorca. Eala spent important developmental years training there, while Auger-Aliassime had a close connection to the Nadal camp during his time working with Tony Nadal from 2021 through 2024. Their teams knew one another, the connection already existed, and somebody clearly realized that putting these two players together could create something special. Auger-Aliassime also admitted that another part of the opportunity caught his attention, what fans have started calling the Eala effect. He is obviously no stranger to big crowds himself, but playing next to Eala could bring an entirely different atmosphere. He joked that even though Eala is younger than he is, she might be the one carrying the crowd because of the passionate fan base following her everywhere. For Eala's supporters, that comment said a lot. When an accomplished player like Auger-Aliassime notices the energy surrounding you, people are going to pay attention. For Eala, mixed doubles at the US Open presents a new challenge. She has never played mixed doubles at a major before, and now her first opportunity comes alongside a player with serious experience on the biggest stages. The competition, however, is absolutely loaded. This is not some easy side event filled with unknown names. The 2026 US Open Mixed Doubles Championship features a field packed with Grand Slam champions, world-class singles players, and established doubles stars. Among the headline teams are Aryna Sabalenka and Novak Djokovic, a pairing that immediately grabs attention because of the enormous singles success both players bring to the court. Elena Rybakina is paired with Taylor Fritz. Diana Schneider teams up with Daniil Medvedev. Iga Swiatek and Casper Ruud return after finishing as runners-up the previous year. Belinda Bencic joins Flavio Kobali, while Amanda Anisimova partners with Lerner TN. And that is before you even get to the other wildcard teams. Eala and Auger-Aliassime were joined on the wildcard list by Leylah Fernandez and Frances Tiafoe, Taylor Townsend and Alexander Zverev, Alina Svitolina and Gael Monfils, and two-time defending champions Sara Errani and Andrea Vavasori. In other words, there is nowhere to hide. Almost every possible matchup looks like something fans would normally expect to see deep into a major tournament. The format makes everything even more intense. Instead of unfolding over a long 2-week stretch, mixed doubles will move fast. The first round and quarterfinals are scheduled for August 25, followed by the semifinals and championship match on August 26. Matches will be played inside Arthur Ashe Stadium and Louis Armstrong Stadium, the two biggest courts at the USTA Billie Jean King National Tennis Center. That means Eala and Auger-Aliassime will have almost no time to settle in. From the opening point, every game matters. One bad stretch could send a team home. One great stretch could suddenly put them within touching distance of a US Open title. The draw will determine exactly how difficult their road becomes, but with a field this deep, there really are no easy opponents. What Eala and Auger-Aliassime do have is an intriguing mix of skills, experience, and crowd energy. And that last factor may be bigger than people realize. The so-called Eala effect has become one of the most fascinating stories surrounding her rise. The 21-year-old Filipina has gone from being viewed as a talented junior prospect to becoming one of the most closely followed players on tour. At the Canadian Open in Toronto, her matches drew huge crowds and organizers had to account for the demand surrounding her appearances. Cincinnati brought another wave of support, with fans showing up in force to see her compete. Everywhere she goes, Philippine flags seem to follow. Eala has spoken openly about how different life feels now. She has acknowledged that the attention can sometimes feel heavy, while at other times it can be exciting and fun. More than anything, she seems determined to appreciate just how unusual the experience is. That balance matters because the spotlight is only getting brighter. Her partnership with Auger-Aliassime is another sign of how much her profile has grown. This is no longer simply a story about a talented young player trying to break through. Eala is now sharing the stage with established stars, appearing in marquee events, and becoming part of conversations that stretch far beyond the Philippines. Her US Open schedule is already packed. In addition to mixed doubles, Eala is involved in the Stars of the Open exhibition event and will compete in the women's singles main draw. She has already made history as the first Filipina to win a Grand Slam singles match, and New York gives her another chance to build on that breakthrough. That is what makes the timing of this mixed doubles opportunity so compelling. Cincinnati ended with tears and frustration. New York now offers a reset. Tennis can be brutal that way. One night, a lead disappears and everything feels like it is falling apart. A few days later, another door opens and suddenly you are preparing to walk onto Arthur Ashe Stadium alongside one of the best players in the game. Alex Eala's journey has already taken her from a child who picked up a tennis racket at 4 years old to one of the most recognizable young names on the WTA Tour. She has filled stadiums, energized Filipino communities around the world, and inspired a new generation of fans who see part of themselves in her success. Now she arrives at the final Grand Slam of the season with another opportunity to show that her rise is only getting started. The Cincinnati heartbreak is behind her. The US Open is next. She has singles ambitions, a brand new mixed doubles partner, and a fan base ready to make New York feel a whole lot louder. Whether Eala and Felix Auger-Aliassime can turn this surprise partnership into a deep run remains to be seen, but one thing is certain, people will be watching. And if the Eala effect shows up in full force at Flushing Meadows, this unexpected team could become one of the most talked about stories of the tournament.